Now we all love a GIF, I love a GIF, love sending memes, love sending different style of GIFs, use Giphy, everything in between. Now what I want to do today is look at making a GIF from a design that I've done on the iPad. Some of the type that I've used on the basketballs made of baskets, I want to put through from Illustrator straight into After Effects and see how I can turn that into a GIF of some sort. I'm using some inspiration from people online such as Matt Voice, some of the Adobe creators and other people that I've seen personally who are really showing that GIFs can be more than just a GIF or a GIF or a GIF. Nah, it's definitely a GIF. I mean, if you want to argue about it, let's talk in the comments. Anyway, what I have done on Illustrator is bounce and basketball here, and what that has done is used slight outline. It's nothing too fancy. However, when that comes from a Photoshop, you can definitely see. Obviously, I'm loving a bit of noise at the minute. We've got the motion blur behind it to add some, add some depth into this actual piece here, because otherwise it was looking a little bit flat. If I start hiding some layers, you see without the motion blur, we're bouncing a basketball, literally a basketball. What we want to do in Illustrator, or what I'm going to do quickly, is I'm just going to sort out the layers on this document so that it's ready for animating. Now there's quite a few different ways of doing this. I like to be a bit slower and a bit manual with my layers process. So I'm just going to pull them out so that each letter is on a separate layer, because with bounce I'm thinking straight away what we want to have is we want to have bounce coming straight down and then bouncing out or expanding of some sort, just how a basketball would or a football or anything else. Really exaggerate that bounce movement. Now I've got that into After Effects, what I've done is created a quick comp which is 1080 by 1080 standard Instagram, Facebook, social media, you name it, 1:1. And from that I've just dropped in a background so that there's a white background just to reference off while I'm working. All I want to do now is just simply make these GIFs. So I'm not really sure, let's mess around with some squishing of the words, how we can make that feel like a bounce or the basketball. So let's get my timeline here. As you can see, we've got the basketball text now importing into After Effects as a composition, purely because then you've got the straight files here just as you had them in Illustrator. Just makes it a little bit easier. So for these GIFs, I'm just going to isolate out basket and ball because we can come to those separately. And then background wise, we could probably chuck another solid in here as well. So let's just chuck a background to the back. Now I really want to focus on this bounce here. I'm just wondering and debating in my mind if we use the U and the N as more of an anchor. So if we can kind of like open all of these up and focus on the U and the N, maybe not going too mad. However, a looping GIF, I think we want a couple of seconds, don't we? Maybe like 1 to 3 seconds. So let's go with the 5 frame mark. Everything to slightly come in. Yeah, that's the bounce, isn't it? Best thing about animating, how much you can just mess around with the simple scale and form. Look, straight away, boom. Depends how mad you want to go. There we go, so we kind of got the bounce movement now. What I really want to do is just, I'm not sure if it's lacking anything. I mean, if I can put this on a looped timer from about the 1 second mark, just see how that plays out. I think that works. I mean, the speech marks are doing, something a bit funky there, but I kind of like the way that it pulls apart and then comes back together. It's really fun messing around with motion blur as well. Just adds a bit more realism to the movement. It's quite leery actually. And then the next thing I could do is add some eases. So let's add some easy eases. And what that allows the animations to do is just, instead of being slow from one point to the other, it can just sort of ease together. especially with this bounce movement. Oh, that's a lot better. You can see that it's just like a smooth move now. Little bounce and catch, ready to shoot and score, hopefully. Perfect. Now at this moment in time, I was a classic designer and I decided to start messing around with multiple shapes, seeing if we could have more bounces in the background. Clearly it didn't work, so I switched back to the singular one, keeping the animation simple. Now playing with GIFs is so good to be able to just use scale, position, transparency, all the basic elements of movements that you want. And even when I've worked on animations which have been quite complex and it's had a lot of trim paths and the lines moving through and the digital art behind that and the way that it was made, still think of the basics. There's one thing that I find great. Think of the basics, movement, scale, how far can you push something, how is that going to look, what does it feel like in the real world. Don't always overcomplicate it. We could start adding loads of effects to this. We could start adding spins, we could start adding it, going into hoop. But at the end of the day, what result are we looking for? Just a bit of fun with this sort of stuff, and it works. You know, if we're having a bounce on the floor, we've got a little bounce there. The basketball as well, which I might work on in the future, could have the basketball moving just in a similar bounce fashion. So really nice to do stuff like this. It really have fun with design, essentially. We all love a GIF. So if you like the video, I plan to do some more. Any ideas, feel free to shout them, questions, comments. Really looking forward to creating more design stuff. There's going to be some fantasy projects which I think are going to be possibly more engaging. I just want to look at how we perceive brands. Can we artwork them into other stuff? Skateboards, brands, artwork in general. Really interested in doing that. AI, what does that look like? So remember to subscribe, like, comment and share, and I look forward to connecting with you guys on the next video.